In game engine development, video number 6, getting a simple sprite on screen with OpenGL. For the first 7 minutes, just follow the video as is, including adding GLEW folder into your middleware, like so. The latest version of GLEW is a bit different from the version that's being used in the video. The difference is this: when you go into GLEW, the bin and the library has two different versions of the files, release and release MX. We are going to use the release. When in release, there's the 32-bit version of the file and the 64-bit version. I will be using the 64-bit version. And from there, there's two different lib. The first one is the dynamic link library. The second one with the S is the static link library. What you won't see is the GLEW32D lib, which is the debug library that's being used in the video. Around 7 minutes and 34 seconds, this is when we're gonna point the linker to our lib directory here. So let's do that. Let's go back to Visual Studio. Right click on our sandbox game project, properties, linker, additional library directories. Click on arrow, edit. We're going to click on this icon, new line icon, select the dots, and let's go to our middleware, GLEW, lib, release, x64 for me. For the 32-bit user, please use the Win32, and select folder. And we are going to change the sequence of string to our macro, $paran project dir paran dot. Okay, and then when you recompile the solution and run it, it should work because we're running nothing. And run it, and there you go, a white window. Now let's close that and go back to the video. Around 13 minutes, you are to copy the algorithm on screen. So let's do that. So I am going to uncomment my data, uncomment, let's uncomment like so, and compile it. Okay, it should compile fine, and once it finishes compiling, run it. For me, it should crash, but I would tell you why mine crashed instead of having GLEW32.dll error like so in the video. Let me find that spot where that error is at, like so. That's because I'll explain it later. Okay, so for you out there who's just following the video that has a .dll error, let's do that real quick. So we're going to go to our project file, middleware, GLEW, bin, binary, release, select your version of window, copy GLEW32.dll, go back to our project file, go into engine, select your version of Windows that you're running, mine 64, debug, and paste it in here. Those of you guys notice that I don't have GLEW32.dll file in here. That is because I have placed this file into my system folder. So when Visual Studio compile and run it, the DLL, it's already reside in system, so that's why I don't have any DLL error. And the reason why I had that in my system folder already at this point is because I was debugging this program. Because as you notice, near the end of the video, when Jamie runs the program, a nice triangle appeared. When I run this exact same program using the same version of Microsoft Visual Studio on my Windows 7, the program runs fine. But when I run it on Windows 8, which is what I'm running right now, it crashed like so. Let me recompile for you guys and run the program so you guys can see that crash. Like so, it crashed. I want this to crash so I can help. For those of you guys out there who are having the same problem, I will show you the first solution that I've come with after many hours of debugging and writing many different kinds of algorithm. And for those of you who are wondering what kind of crash, let's find out. So we're going to debug the program. Select yes. Okay, and it's unhandled exception. It's an access violation execution, meaning it's a memory violation error. What kind of memory violation? It starts with here, and you notice this variable here, it's 0, so it's null. For those of you out there who are wondering why I have this variable here in my watch list and you guys don't, what you do is that you right click on the variable that you want to watch, you right click on it and you add watch like so, and it will be add here. I have two, so let me delete one. Okay. After many Google search and Stack Overflow, I found out that there's a bug in developing Qt using GLEW in a Microsoft Visual Studio development environment. Let me give you guys a bonus. Okay, let me show you something. I'm gonna go debug window, disassembly. What you see here, it's how this line of code or this line of command looks like in assembly language, and it's pointing at the error here, which meaning this line means that they try to access memory that vertex buffer ID is pointing to. They're trying to access it and place the value into this registry. The RAX is a 64-bit register. Why is that a problem? Let me explain it this way. Imagine that you divide a number by 0, and then a black hole was created because of that. Then you try to take a cookie from the black hole, which is a big no-no. So this is exactly what happened. The computer tried to access null, which is basically nothing, and the computer doesn't like it, so it crashed. Okay, so let me stop this. Okay, so how do we solve this? Simple. What you need to do is you delete this line of code and delete this 2 line of code. Leave this alone, leave the data alone, and then in your mygl window.h file, add this variable. I'm gonna call it mygl list, but you could name that variable anything you like. And then you are going to add this line of code, and I will explain to you what exactly this does, or not exactly this does, but give you an idea what this sequence of code do in a bit. You also delete in your paint GL, delete all of this line of code, and add this line of code. GL call list, my GL list. Quickly, this OpenGL command returns a unique unsigned integer into this variable. This GL new list creates a new list in memory that is associated to my GL list. GL compile is an enum enumeration that tells OpenGL to compile but don't execute codes that's between GL new list and GL in list. And this line of code, GL enable client state, GL vector pointer, and GL draw array, what it does, it creates an array of data on your memory and it saves it to the list that is associated to my GL list. Then to access this line of code, what you need to do is you do GL call list. So every time this line of code gets called, it executes all the instruction here. And that's it. So when you compile, let's recompile the program. And run it. You should have a white triangle. Okay. And here's a little added bonus for you guys before we end this video. You notice in the video there's a Jamie has a nice long OpenGL window, while here we have a nice, not so nice little box with a triangle all the way here. There's nothing wrong with the triangle, it is our viewing window. A quick fix to this for now, you go to main.cpp and then you add this line of code. My GL window dot resize and then your dimension, like so. And this line of code, all it does is tells your widget to resize itself to whatever you specify. So when you compile, my program just crashed. Ooh, it cannot. Here, let me shut down Visual Studio real quick. It didn't crash. I forgot to close the exe. Sorry about that, guys. Bear with me. We're almost done. That was silly of me. Compile it. Come on, faster. Run it, and we have a nice long window with a nice triangle. And there you have it. Until next time, happy coding.